Many thanks for choosing us. Part of Accra in Tema is to experience water shortage. It's a Ghana Water Company shuts down its booster station for 48 hours. The Ghana Water Company says it will shut down its booster station at Bon on Wednesday to allow it undertake works to improve water supply. The shutdown will affect some communities in Accra and Tema. A statement issued by the Ghana Water Company Limited reads, and it's on your screens, we'll share it with you. It says that it will be shutting down part of its stations and it will affect some parts of Tema. In that statement, we'll be hearing more from the communications manager of the Ghana Water Company, Stanley Mate. He's joined me right now. He's a communications manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited. Mr. Mate, I'm grateful for your time. So this exercise is to improve on water supply to most communities. How come same exercise will have to render some homes waterless for 2 days?
Okay, so we want to replace all the old pumps with a booster station, and and then some equipment as well. So we may have to shut down so that we can replace them. So there are about 4 pumps and other equipment. We can't be replacing them while the pumps are running. So that is how come we may have to shut down. But we want to assure the general public that our engineers will not leave site until the job is completed. So we will be working assiduously, we will be working around the clock to ensure that we complete the work and task before we leave site. So we are hopeful that by Friday the job will be done, and then we'll resume supply immediately. Aisha.
Mr. Mata, has this started already? Because my area, for instance, North Kanisha, hasn't had water for the past 2 days. I mean, does it have anything to do with this exercise?
Yeah, not at all. North Kanisha is supplied from the Wager treatment plant. And we've had some power challenges in the last few days with Wager. That has been restored. So our expectation is that water will be flowing to your area from Wager. But this has got to do with Tema. You know, the Tema booster station has several reservoirs that stores water from the phone treatment plant. We add value, and then we pump it back we distribute it within the Tema enclave. So it has nothing to do with the western part of Accra. But I want to assure the general public that everything is under control, and all these things must end within a very short time. Thank you.
So when exactly will these communities you talk about have full access to water again?
Yes, so all communities within Tema will be affected. And then the Sprinters Road, areas around the Sprinters Road, and then O'Reilly Secondary School area, Manette Cottage area, and Sakumuno, Lashibi, and all those areas. Ashaman and the rest will all be affected. Ajekojo is also included. But trust me, we are working seriously to ensure that the impact is not seriously felt. And within 2 days, we should restore or we should resume supply. Thank you.
So within 2 days means by Friday they should have water.
Exactly. Because immediately we finish, we will resume supply. So we are hopeful that by Friday water will go to most places within that area, and then latest by Saturday, all areas should have water.
But
with the new pumps, we are also expecting very high pressure. So we expect that the process will be faster than hitherto it had been. So
within this period, is there any plan for those who will be having their taps out of water?
Yeah, exactly so, Aisha. You know, there is a vast area, so it's impossible to serve them with tankers. So we are giving prior notice so that people will store some water for the period. But we have rented some tankers that will be on standby so that communities that are distressed, and especially institutions that provide essential services, will be taken care of within the period. Aisha.
I'm grateful for your time. Stanley Martis,
Thank you also for
Communications
having me,
Director at the
Aisha.
Ghana Water Company Limited. Now, prepare to pay more for road tolls. That's according to the Roads Minister, Amakwata's government makes major U-turn to reintroduce the levy only a year after its abolished date. Government in 2021 announced a scrapping of road tolls on all major highways and bridges across the country. Here's Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta on the floor of Parliament a year ago when he read the 2022 budget statement on the floor of Parliament.
The congestion generated at the tolling points, besides creating these inconveniences, also leads to pollution in and around the vicinities. To address these challenges, government has abolished all tolls on public roads and bridges. This takes effect immediately the budget is approved on appropriation. The toll collection personnel will be reassigned. The expected impact on productivity and reduce environmental pollution will more than offset the revenue foregone by removing.
On that promise, the Minister for Roads and Highways is actually saying that we would have to pay more if the road tolls are brought back.
Certain highways, when built to the right specification, will come with towing facilities. But those towing facilities, will be electronic towing facilities. It won't come like the form we used to have in the past, where people were in a queue for a very long time. The whole year, we were getting an average of 78 million, cedis. If you deduct salaries and whatever from it, how much is left? Depending upon the ground condition, that amount of money cannot even build 10 kilometers of road. And I'm saying, depending upon the ground condition of the road that you want to construct. If all of us had contributed to the e-levy, it would have brought in a lot of money to replace the original toll booths. And we would have built more roads for ourselves. Tolls have not been cancelled or abolished. The law is still there. So if they have to be in the queue for 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, and you get there and you pay 50 pesos, Ghana was paying the lowest toll in the whole world. I challenge anybody who can tell me any country which was paying tolls lower than Ghana. We were paying the lowest toll in the whole world. Okay? Meanwhile, we want excellent, good roads in our country. And rightly so. If every Ghanaian, including yourself, myself, yes, we want good things, we must be prepared to pay for. Tolls, if they should come back, gradually, one way or the other, it will come in a different form. We will no longer be paying the 50 pesos and the 1 cedis, and it will come. If you travel abroad, tolls, and many people travel abroad, okay? Tolls, very expensive, okay? Tolls are very expensive abroad. That is why, and that's how come they are able to build good roads.
You heard that Amakwata, his Roads and Highways Minister. Now, scores of people whose SIM cards have been blocked continue to queue at the premises of the telcos in Kumasi to register their lines. Let's hear from my colleague, Erastus Asari-Donko, who reported from one of the centers earlier.
Of SIM lines that are not registered is biting hard on their owners as people queue up very early in the morning just to get their SIM lines registered and unblocked so they can go back to their lives. Try to speak with a number of them to find out why they have waited to this time to get their lines registered. Let me start with you, boss. Adum, now, I don't watch up to this time. I feel I register online.
Oh, and when say we should be as we know be Jumana, won't be for open, but now Embajana say over result same. Tineke shares and committee for number 2 a month for Gum. Then companies no Mabel Shasha, Sinacoma boy. And say, I show Munisa Mamba. And then it's on a passive baby, about around 5:30. Still, the young koi.
Is that he knew about the registration, all right, but he was waiting. He says he works for somebody, and so he was waiting for his company, MTN, to come over, get people to come to their doorstep to register for him, and that is why he was waiting, but nothing happened. Now his line is blocked, he cannot make calls, and he's here in queue since 5:30 trying to get the line registered. There are some women who have also been here. Now, I don't know what time now register online.
Midday. And so you buy and almost check your see and you cry.
We are the same.
Because I might be or just so, me register or just so. Yana, you dear now to do an eye, and so almost see Anya.
We are in the same phone, so would you can first stage, you know, 1 year second stage.
So, because my admin saying I go. Papa, when they come home, Miami and San Francisco, so no mamma, my name is Manuel Biana boy. Nina FMT for Munyani, yes, I am your Munya Sika, my near to some and Tonchane, and one here.
Well, quite an angry customer there, and she has done it 3 times. Now she's very angry. She wants them to take the money on her account so that they can throw the SIM away. That's what she said literally in Chi. There are a number of people who say they've gone through the process already, but then it has not gone through. Their SIMs are still blocked. They are here to rectify the situation and get their lines reactivated again. So from Maxima here at the MTN office, Erastus Asaridonko report.
The Chamber of Corporate Trustees, also known as the Pensions Chamber, says it rejects the proposed debt exchange program announced by government on Monday, December 5. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta at a press conference invited bond-holding institutions, including pension fund managers, to exchange their old bonds for a package of new ones to be issued by government. The announcement is the latest among a raft of measures government is rolling out in a bid to service its 137 million Ghana cedis domestic debt. It is also generally to turn around the economic fortunes of the country amid the ensuing crisis. Several labor unions, including NAGRAT, have since the announcement warned government to stay off their pension schemes, particularly having assured them earlier that such funds will not be affected by the haircuts. The Chamber of Corporate Trustees is the latest to resist any attempt by government in proceeding with its intended domestic debt exchange program, which will affect pensions. Executive Secretary Thomas Kwesieso says the Chamber cannot accept terms of the offer from government. He spoke with my colleague, Mapito Sibidi.
The concerns are actually what have been expressed by some of the labor unions, like the health workers, the Ghana Education, the JUSAC. These are the concerns actually, and everybody asking them. I'm sure even you are even asking the question, what happens to you?
So what answer would you give me? So what are you doing to save my pensions?
So that is why we are trying to actually put forward our position on this debt exchange program to government.
Okay.
And even though we know government have put up a posture to mean that you accept what we've given to you or we default on it, we don't think that government will go to the extent of defaulting. I must be honest with you, we don't think that government will go to that extent of defaulting. And we actually want to have a further discussion with government to actually have a win-win situation. We understand the situation that economy finds itself. We rightly understand.
Yeah.
But we also understand what that impacts, what that debt exchange program going to affect contributors' money. We also understand that.
Yeah.
And therefore, we believe government must engage us more for us to understand the complexities of both sides, and then we'll see what middle ground can work for the two of us. And we believe that that is what government should do.
So I want you to clear it up for me and explain it to me. What exactly is your position?
I mean, part of the position actually has to be the fact that we are not accepting any zero coupon.
So you're rejecting it?
I mean, we are not accepting zero coupon. And we are also not accepting the 5% or the 10%. I mean, that needs to be renegotiated because let me tell you, for about three quarters now, the industry, I mean, everybody who is investing have been experiencing negative real returns because inflation have actually stagnated to the, inflation have actually increased to the extent that it has even risen more than coupons that are being paid on investments that are on the market. So we've been experiencing negative rate return. And therefore, if we are going to receive 0 coupon and 5 or 10, what it means is that this negative rate return is going to extend for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Even though government at the meeting promised that they are going to control or they are going to manage the economy in such a way that inflation will be brought down to single digit. But I mean, looking at inflation around 40-something% now, how long would that take before inflation can be brought to single digit? And therefore, I mean, 0 coupon, 5% and 10% is too low.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too low to be, I mean, accepted at this time.
This afternoon, there are concerns about alleged attempted entry of jihadists into the country through the Upper West region. The number of jihadists is alleged to be 80, all on motorbikes. They are suspected to be using the Hamley Road through the Kulunka village, 5 kilometers from Hamley. But who are these people and what do they want? I've been joined by the Executive Director of the West Africa Center for Counter-Extremism, Mukhtar. I'm grateful for your time, sir. First, what has your intelligence picked as far as jihadists attempting to penetrate the country through the Upper West region is concerned?
Yes, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your viewers. Yes, we are receiving reports of some infiltration of individuals from the northern border, specifically in the Upper West part of the border into our space. But at the moment, I would like to state strongly that there are several reports that come in the form of rumors that we are dealing with. So we have to be careful in the manner that we do not create alarm, we do not exaggerate the reality of what is happening. There are videos that I have seen and the other narratives that I have seen in terms of jihadis or so-called jihadis or motorbikes in here. That's not appears to be rumors at this moment. But we also have other situations that have been confirmed in terms of individuals who have come into Ghana from Burkina Faso seeking refuge, running from the increasing violence in Burkina Faso. So generally, there are things that are, situations of people moving into the space in the Upper West part of the border. But we have to be careful not to exaggerate it and not to create escalation in terms of in terms of panic. And so it's a developing situation that we are learning, as we speak now.
So in the event that we're having such people, who are they and what exactly do they want?
We know that this threat, it's not new. It's been a developing threat. Extremist groups have taken over nearly, actually now, it's about 60% of the entire geographical space of Burkina Faso. And it's increasingly moving towards the south, moving towards us. And these are extremist groups that have been transplanted, that are associated with Jini, one of the biggest terrorist groups within the Sahel. And we have other splinter groups that have different motivations, but of course, the common thing is to take over territory, to administer their form of leadership, in that space. So we have disparate groups of people in that space. And this threat has been moving towards us. And that is why we have to take what is happening seriously.
But do you possibly know why any such group will target Ghana?
Ghana has been, part of the mix of countries along the coast, the Gulf of Guinea, that have been targeted or seen to be part of the targets of extremist groups. It hasn't been today. I mean, at least in the last 6 years, Ghana has been part of those, countries that have been targeted, and not particularly for any particular reason. It is because extremist groups are looking to take over territory, are looking to target countries that they consider as partners of their own target country. So, for instance, if you constitute a belligerent force against terrorism in West Africa, which means that you are part of the contingent of efforts against Boko Haram or ISIS or any such associated groups. You could be roped in as a target. If you're supporting Western counterterrorism programs, especially in a very visible, apparent form, you could be targeted by extremist groups. And so these things are part of a mix of, factors that could lead to that. And also, some of the situations we have looked at, you do not necessarily need to target terrorist groups to become part of their targets. It's just like saying that because you do not, make enemies, you will not be enemies of other people. It doesn't work like that, especially groups that are looking to extend and expand their brand of religion and their brand of leadership. It is independent of whether you are a traditional enemy or not. And so Ghana is part of those countries that they have targeted. But I mean, we have to find a more appropriate ways in terms of our response approach. We do not have to provoke any action from the groups within the region. We have to continue to do what we have been doing. And I'm saying this in terms of the context of security, state security, counterterrorism effort, in ensuring that we preserve these borders and ensure that we do not provoke these actions at our border posts.
Mr. Mukhtar, I understand that we do not have to create panic and fear, just as you put it. But I want to understand, should we be concerned as a country? What exactly should we be doing at this moment?
We should be very concerned. This is a threat that is very complex. It's complex for everyone, both state and local community or citizens. And so we have to be very concerned. What we should be doing, one, is to create a situation where state actors and stakeholders like civil society organizations are engaged actively in educating the local population to understand this phenomenon and how to respond. How to ensure that people willingly volunteer information to relevant security authorities. How do we ensure that we verify information before circulating it? Because panic and escalating the threat through the sharing of rumors can actually be more dangerous than the real threat itself. And so we have to be very deliberate at this point from the state perspective, rolling out programs that are intended at educating people to understand what this is and how we can positively play a role in preventing terrorism from happening here.
I'm grateful for...
have already shown some leadership. Some of them have actually reported to police officers and some security agencies. And so it's important that we build that culture and that approach moving forward.
Mr. Mukhtar, thank you so much this afternoon. He's Executive Director for West Africa Center for Counter-Extremism. Now, incumbent chairman of the opposition National Democratic Congress, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, is lacing his boots to face perhaps his biggest political battle. He comes up against the incumbent General Secretary Johnson Asiedu-Nketia, the December 17 National Delegates Congress of the NDC. By all indications, this will be an intriguing contest. Win or lose, one of the contestants will come out politically bruised. But Mr. Ofosu-Ampofo is confident of victory. Elton Brobe has more in this report.
Of the line drawn in the sand, and there is no holding back as incumbent national chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, sticks his neck out to face perhaps the biggest battle of his political career. He will face the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu-Nketia, in the contest of pride, supremacy, and command in the NDC. But he's absolutely certain he will retain the chairmanship slot.
In just 2 years in office as chairman of the party, together with my team of dynamic executives, we were able to increase our seats in parliament from 106 to 137. And our presidential votes also moved from 4.8 million to approximately 6.3 million. A very quantum jump. With your support, we can rescue our beloved country from the clutches of the Akufo-Addo MPP government that has brought untold hardships on Ghanaians.
Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo has had an illustrious political life since age 29, when he was first elected as branch organizer for the Fantiako constituency in the Eastern region. He will later go on to become a district chief executive, a deputy regional minister in the Eastern region, national organizer of the NDC, and a local government minister. He says the experience gained over the years is unmatched, and assured he would lead the NDC to win the 2024 general elections.
I pledge to continue to build an all-inclusive party, united and focused under the guidance of our core values of freedom, transparency, solidarity, probity, and accountability. And if I tell you I'm a unifier, indeed I'm a unifier.
But his reign as national chairman of the NDC has not been without criticism. The party's poor performance in the 2016 general elections, an allegation of non-collation of election results in the last elections, has been blamed on him. But Ofosu Ampofo is rejecting the charge.
We collated our results. It is very clear. We have every resource there. And in that case, if we did not collate results, the chief executive of the party is the general secretary. He runs the party day to day. All the departments of the party under him, they report directly to him. So if he's coming to contest me, why do you single the chairman out and say the chairman should be held responsible? No, but I'm saying that people have their jobs cut out for them. I am not responsible for collation of election results.
He also believes the contest between him and Mr. Asiedu Nketia could have been avoided, as it risks dividing the party ahead of the crucial elections in 2024.
This move is a wrong move. It is not a politically correct decision. It may pursue a personal interest, but we should have looked at the larger interest of the party. And there were moves by the Council of Elders. His Excellency President Mahama Nkasa making moves more than 1 year ago. And the General Secretary said that he had not taken a decision and that he has options. And so there were moves. There were every effort that was made to prevent this from happening. But, well, you can force the donkey to the riverside, but you cannot force it to drink. And if the person says, I'm going, it's a constitutional right. But I think that that right is not in the interest of the party.
But as delegates of the NDC decide who should lead the party, supporters of Samuel Ofosu Ampofo have one demand for their candidate: Kum Ntontom Preko, to wait, kill mosquito once.
Victory will be for Ofosu Ampofo come December 7th, and we are going to teach somebody a bitter lesson. From victory unto victory.
And the channel to stay on for all the NDC delegates, Congress, the sights and sounds is JoyNews on your election headquarters. You need to be here. Now, ladies, I'm sure you've already imagined your hairstyle for Christmas. Well, have you counted the cost as well? If you haven't, you will have to budget extra for your Christmas look. In today's Living Standard series, we head to Makola, where wig dealers say the inflation bag has hit prices.
At Makola, the Christmas buzz is gradually kicking in for the ladies. Many of them have thronged the wig shops to purchase their hair extensions to have a new look for Christmas. But I witnessed scenes of disappointment. The prices of wigs have gone up. Many entered the wig shops but came out empty-handed. Wigs were beyond their means. This lady had tried to beat down the price of a particular wig she really wanted, but she had to give up because she just couldn't afford it.
How much is that wig? It is 350 Ghana cedis. I can give it to you at 300 Ghana cedis. So does it mean that the prices are increased every day? But I was here last Thursday.
Beauty comes at a cost, and in times of economic crisis, sometimes it is not a priority for many. Well, I bumped into this other customer who had decided to buy a normal grade wig for braids. She had budgeted 22 cedis for a pack. She needs 3 packs. But
we're going to speak with Priscilla Oyinka. She's beautician who owns Pretty with Oyinka Salon on cheaper alternatives for fixing hair this Christmas. Pretty, good to have you here. What are the alternatives available for us this Christmas for people like us who want to look beautiful but still moderately? Hello, Priscilla. Do we have Priscilla on? Priscilla, kindly unmute for us. Priscilla, have you unmuted? Good. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you want to pay less when it comes to braids, I think you should opt for shorter lengths. You know, when you're braiding longer lengths, it comes at extra cost. So it's better to opt for shorter lengths and also opt for larger sizes. Because if you go in for smaller sizes, you're obviously going to be paying more.
How about those of us who want to fix weave-ons, not really to braid? What's the alternative for us?
So with the wigs, we have them in grades. So the higher the grade, the higher you pay. So if you do not have much, then you have to opt for the lower grade hairs. And those ones can mostly be found in the packed hairs. So with the packed hairs, you can get maybe 3 bundles or 4 bundles, and it comes in total with a closure. You understand? So if you do not have much, you have less, you want to spend less and still look pretty, then you opt for the packed hairs instead of the single donor bundles. Yeah.
So let's say this beautiful hair you're wearing, if I want a similar thing, how much should I budget for?
This is not something that you are supposed to look out for if you are looking at spending less, because this is quite expensive. You understand? Yeah.
It's quite expensive. Wow, but that's what I want. What do I do?
Yeah, so you can go for low quality ones, but then those ones comes with high maintenance. Anytime you want to get it looking this straight, you have to always make sure within 2-3 hours, anytime you're going for a program, you straighten it. You still look beautiful. You do not have to really spend so much on the higher quality hairs.
Is there a way we can revamp our old weave-ons to make it look different this Christmas?
Yes, so we do deep conditioning of hairs. So you can find any wig maker, myself, we do deep conditioning. So if you bring in your wigs, we just condition them, we treat them, and then we bring them back to life like the original hairs. Yeah.
All right, Priscilla Oyinka is beautician. Thanks so much for those tips. So this Christmas, you don't have to have so much money to look beautiful. You can do one of the things, the tips she suggested to look beautiful. Let's take a break on Joy News today. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest coming from the world of business.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Regional General Manager for TAG Angola Airline, Dan Chang, is urging government to consider more private-public partnerships to sustain operations of the proposed national airline. This comes after Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta announced that government plans to commence operations for a new home-based carrier in 2023. Ms. Chang commended the government for ensuring diversity within the sector. There is more in this report.
The aviation sector over the years has seen some significant growth, which has boosted economies in terms of revenue generation and the creation of jobs. Ghana has not been left out of this significant growth, as it is also striving hard to make significant progress within the sector. As Ghana plans to start its airline in 2023, Regional General Manager for TAG Angola says the country can sustain operations through private-public partnership.
It depends on the market that you're in. So private sector ownership works very, very well in some places. It doesn't work as well in other places. Public sector ownership has its challenges also in terms of what we would call a legacy carrier that has maybe a lot of old policies and processes that haven't been changed in years because it's more difficult to do so. Whereas I think a private sector airline is potentially more able to react more quickly to the market. But I think a combination of both of those things works very, very well. And that happens all over the world, where you might have government ownership of 51% and private ownership of 49% of the airline. And that works very well because you get the benefits of the government input into regulatory authorities, but you also get the commercial aspect and the speed to market that you get from a private ownership.
Ghana's aviation sector continues to contribute significantly to the economic growth of the country through wealth and employment generation, with current figures released by the Ghana Tourism Authority indicating that an estimated 4 million international visitors are projected to arrive in the country by 2027. James Shan's reports for Joy Business.
Now, HR professionals are being urged to adopt flexible policies in the management of staff at the workplace. According to Director of People and Culture at Absa Bank, William Esmond, every organization's talent management strategy must be aligned to its business strategy to help attract committed employees at the workplace. He spoke at the 14th graduation ceremony of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management.
According to the Director of People and Culture at Absa Bank, William Esmond, HR professionals must have a policy to accommodate flexible working hours. He believes this will improve workplace productivity.
Depending on your industry, you may have realized different trends in talent behavior. There's talk of the gig economy, there's talk about project work. The world is changing such that people are no longer looking for an 8-to-5 job. They're ready to work for you for 2 hours. And you should be able to be agile enough to have your policies accommodate 2-hour-a-day workers or 2-day-a-week workers. We should get to that point. In fact, we are at that point as we speak.
Chief Executive of the Institute, Ebenezer Agbeto, admonished professionals to pay attention to HR value-added initiatives.
You committed yourself to the cause in spite of all the frustrations you went through, especially those of you who had to rewrite certain subjects twice, thrice. Should I carry on? And for you, for some of you, maybe a handful of you, by the special grace of God, you actually, the initial results that was released, you failed. But you have faith in yourself. And he said, I will put in for a remarking. And amazingly, a handful of them, the second script marker passed them.
For his part, President of the Institute, Dr. Edward Kwapong, urged HR professionals to encourage working from home.
Why should somebody living in Adenta get to the office at the ministries by 8 o'clock and close at 5? Why can't he come at 10 and perhaps close at 6? So let us be flexible and make sure that there is convenience for both the worker and the employer. Why not also introduce the shift system so you don't have everybody at the workplace at the same time? How about working from home? The Generation Zs don't understand why they should come to the office every day when they can operate from home with their laptops and get their same results for you. Why do we insist that they should always come to the office?
The 14th graduation ceremony of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management was on the theme, Managing Talent in the Midst of Uncertainties.
Well, more business news coming up on the marketplace. Pause is up next.
Well, it's time for sports, and I bring you the latest in this bulletin. My name is Abigail Senasusu. Former head coach of the senior national team, Otoado, has debunked claims that Football Association President Kurt Koku influenced player selection at the World Cup. The 47-year-old says he worked in the best environment, devoid of the imposition of players on the technical team.
We have to thank the Almighty God for giving us, or for giving me also this opportunity, for giving us a team like this. I think, yeah, I'm very, very proud of the boys. They give their all. Sometimes it's a bad luck, This is also part of football, the ugly side of football. Sometimes you are lucky, sometimes you're not lucky, but they did all they can, and sometimes it's not in your hands. I would like to thank the president, Mr. Kweku, for giving me this chance, for letting me do my work the way I wanted. I really appreciate this. This was the best circumstance I would like to work on. It appeared. I'd like to thank the whole technical staff for supporting me in the best way they could. I think this was a really solid and loyal unit. Everybody worked a lot. Like you said, nobody sees this, but there was a lot of work.
Also, the Ghana Football Association has announced the day for the resumption of the 2022-2023 Ghana Premier League season. The league went on break the weekend. The 2022 FIFA World Cup tournament commenced in Qatar. Following Ghana's exit from the tournament, the FA has confirmed that the league will resume on Thursday, December 19th. And two-time champions, the Diana Stars, lead the table with 16 points, 1 point than Accra Lions, who are in second place with 15 points. Defending champions Asante Kotoko are in third place with 14 points. Same as Accra Gate Olympics, who are in fourth, while Accra Hartsville occupy the fifth spot with 13 points. But that'll be all for sports. But remember, there's a live commentary on the last round of matches of the 1/16th stage of the ongoing FIFA World Cup in Qatar between Morocco and Spain. And later at 7 p.m. is going to be Portugal against Switzerland. There'll be live commentary here on Joy 99.7 and on Joy Prime as well. My name is Abigail Sanasu. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on JoyNews. The dancehall musician episode held his debut festival, La Maggio at the Alliance Française at the weekend. The event saw performances from some industry greats such as Edem, Stoneboy, Amrado and others. The man of the moment spoke with us.
I think over the years I've been battling with the fact that I wanted a concert, but I didn't want it to have the feel of episode fest, this fest. You understand? Because I'm looking at it that 5 years from now, La Maggio should be big, and if I'm not around, we should have different artists headlining it. You understand? I don't want to be the artist who's always headlining La Maggio. It should be more like a festival that somebody can travel to enjoy.
You don't want to die with it?
No, it has to be like celebration. I think every year they celebrate it. You understand? So for me, it's not mine. It's for people, and it's actually representing where I come from. You know, that is why I actually chose the name to balance it. You get what?
And all this monthly stuff that you've been doing, irrespective of the fact that it's been very intimate and very natural settings, has there been dance? Has there been a part of the whole monthly thing that people can't just sit but they get up and dance? And
Yes. We've had like 4 different sessions. I took a break because then I had to promote Atia. But anytime we have La Maggio, it's crazy because one of the key things I take in consideration before choosing the artists, we're scouting for artists who can actually hold crowd for like a maximum of 2 hours or 1.5 hours, and artists with content, not necessarily artists who have names, but artists who have content. And trust me, it's always crazy. I end up even performing every night.
Away from episode, US-based Ghanaian gospel musician Fritz Oakley says he has been working on new music after years of staying out of the public eye. According to him, the fact that he's not always on TV or social media doesn't mean he's not doing active music. He spoke to me on the US edition of E-Vibes.
People have this misconception that I stopped doing music just because you don't see me on TV in Ghana or, you know, on your Instagram pages. Does not mean I'm not active. I make it a point to, you know, make sure I put myself out there or pretty much exude my gift or share my gift with people.
On that note, we end Showbiz here on JoyNews today. For more Showbiz news, log on to myjoyonline.com/entertainment. That's where you find all the Showbiz news. Good afternoon to you, Aisha.
Hello, Becky. That's how we wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. Also, log on to myjoyonline.com. Not only entertainment, there's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.